My iPhone thing. Por favor. Because it's not a fight. It's not a fight. It's all love.
She got a beef with me.
We're not gonna fight.
Your partner got a beef with me, Syndy.
I tell you, I ain't got no beef with
Your partner got a
anybody.
beef with me, Syndy.
I got beef with nobody.
You know.
You know what? We're gonna call a meeting. There's a meeting immediately after the show.
Yeah.
You know.
All hands on deck.
As he kicks us out because he's got another show.
No, I ain't gonna kick y'all out. Y'all handing it off.
No, that's loud.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna do live on Facebook this time. I don't even know how to do that, but
Check.
I don't know how to do that, but
I have
I'ma
never
try.
gone live on Facebook. Let's see. Live. Got it.
What up, Ty Martin? What up, homeboy? Check. IKEA. Every time we hear that, we say IKEA. That one over there, focused. Look at her.
Okay.
She over there focused like Tom Brady, boy. Look at her. She ready, boy. You ready, Syndy B?
I'm ready. Can you turn me up a little bit? Turn me up in my mind, and just in my ears.
I can't hear myself. Turn me up.
Turn me up. Turn my mic up.
Can y'all hear me?
Welcome. Cheers. We are here. It's Thursday, 7:00 in your ear. Welcome to the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. And you know I can't cheers by myself. I got my girl, my co-host here, Jahaira Arias.
Right here, cheering
Hi,
with you,
darling.
girlfriend.
And we got our friend to the show, RJ. Hey.
Hi, guys. All right.
Yes, we are ready, y'all. Actually, you know what? I've been missing y'all.
I've been missing you too.
For
Cindy.
real. I was like, is it Thursday yet? I'm ready to get in the building. For real, I had so much on my mind that I wanted to talk about, and things happen throughout the week. And I'd be like, ooh, if I was on the radio right now, we could talk about this.
Yes, indeed. I be feeling the same way, girl.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a good show for you all today. We got some health tips, okay? And it was on my heart to do that this week because unfortunately I've had know of a few losses this week with young people. And you can't control everything, but if we can work on our health, at least we can do our part in it. We got some 730 crazy. If you don't know what 730 crazy is, that means somebody is acting cray-cray out here. And
we gonna tell you all about it.
That's right. I don't know what the 730 crazy story is, but we're going to decide together. Is that cray-cray? Is that 730 crazy or not? And then we're going to have my tip of the week. But when we come back from the break, we're going to start this thing off with dating with a purpose. And that is breakups.
Breakups.
We've all had them. So,
and they're not going anywhere.
They're not going.
They're
No.
not going
And they always come back. Yep. They always come back.
They always
right.
come back.
At
That's
the
what
end of the day.
that's what Josh said. They always come
You
back.
know, Mike.
But what I want to know when we come back is, can you remain friends with an ex? Can you? And somebody told me something about sex decreasing when you're dating exclusively. I mean, we ain't even got to marriage and all the things that come with that. I don't get it. But we're going to talk about that too. And how do you handle friends of the opposite sex in your relationship?
Oh, I love it. Let's talk about it.
That is interesting.
Yes.
I got a lot I can say about that.
Let's do it.
Listen, there are a lot of people that have these problems, but I think I have a solution, sort of, kind of. And I want to hear what you all have to say when we come back. You're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. We'll be right back. Yes, RJ has that. Yes. Eye candy in the building. Hey, hey, cuz. Hey, Hannah. Hey, Mama Molly. I thought I'd get on here.
What are you
Today.
talking about, Terry?
I thought I'd get on here today. Hey, Catherine.
It does what?
I normally go live on Facebook.
What's that one-way
I mean, on
management?
Instagram. I normally go live on
Don, what up?
Instagram. So I could talk in between the breaks. But listen, go find Power 1089 and you can see us all in the studio. And then I'll talk here on my breaks. See if you can do both. Because I wanna hear what you guys have to say about dating,
Oh, is it too close?
breakups, and all that.
Yes.
Hey, Chanel.
Oh, come on. Answer it already.
I hope you'll have your wine.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear, that wasn't my fault.
Is
Next
my
time,
voice okay?
ignore
Is
your
it-
inner voice.
y'all can hear
Don't
me well?
text and drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stay up
It's
on
a-
what's
I can't.
happening here at Power. We've
To
got new
yourself?
shows, new guests, and new events
I
that
hear
help us
myself,
connect
like,
with the
very
community.
low.
Follow
But
us
it's
on
probably
Facebook
the-
and
the
Instagram at Power
commercial.
108.9. You can also go to power1089.com to get all of the updated news and happenings here at Power. Thanks for listening.
Syndy, I got a man that just said sex decreases in relationships.
And we can talk about why.
No, dating, yes.
I ain't never had that happen.
It's happened to me. And we're going to talk about it. So y'all stay tuned. He said, especially if a career and child is involved. Hey, Miss ATL. Thanks for the support.
I don't know nothing about all that.
Y'all been married forever.
TikTok, you don't stop to the TikTok, you don't stop to the TikTok, you don't stop to the TikTok, you don't stop to the
Welcome back to the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. We're in here jamming. Okay, we took it back. I think that's in the 90s.
That is in the
What group is
90s.
this? What's the name of this group?
Telling
again?
me bad, girl.
Telling me bad.
My
That was
best
the
friend
jam.
is married to one of the fellas.
Oh, snap.
Oh,
That brings back some good feelings, okay? Bring back some good feelings. Had my heart burning for a second. But that I hope whoever is married that they, delivering upon this song to them. Okay, and this brings us right into our topic.
one of our topics, yes.
All right, so we want to talk about breakups. Breakups. But before we get to breakups, I want to talk about, Jahara, you and I had a conversation this week about dating. I'm not talking about marriage. We know we hear all the stories about when you're married, the sex goes down and things like that. But dating, are we talking about exclusive?
Exclusive dating.
Exclusive, like you're in an exclusive relationship, but you're not engaged or married or anything like that. And the sex goes down. Please explain.
And are you living together? Were you living together?
Okay. Oh, that's a good question.
That is a great question. And
Okay.
yes, indeed, we were living together.
Uh-huh.
And yes, the sex decreased with the years. And I think a lot had to do with just the everybody's all eyes on me.
Okay.
The attraction, I think, let me just say the emotions and everything that comes along with it. It's like you could be with a person and try to work this relationship out, but because of whatever trials and whatever issues you've got,
Yes.
they overcome that emotion. So you're not even wanting to be with them like in that manner. You're just and then it gets to a point where you just go through these levels because you want the relationship to work, but then it's like it's just not working, and so you can lose that. You really can.
What are your thoughts, RJ?
Y'all know I always got thoughts. Okay, so my thoughts. Here are my thoughts. When you're in a relationship, whether you're living with someone, whether you're married, you are going to, you're with each other every day.
Right.
For me, I like to keep it sexy. I like to keep it new,
Right.
brand new, every day if I can.
She's a different breed.
One of the things that is, one of the things
I agree though.
that is so important. Number one is going to be your health, because if you don't know how to feed your man, then you're going to have an unhealthy man. He's going to have a bad attitude. He's not going to be able to produce at home or in the bedroom.
So wait, I got a question,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna come back to you, RJ. When you said you agree about the everyday, keep it sexy every day, then how were you not able to draw that out of him? Like if that's your
where it goes to the issues that your relationship is having. Because if you're attracted, if you're happy, if you're into the person, then you are open and ready and willing, like, to do whatever every single day. But if you're not, if you're unhappy, then you can't.
One of the things I think
Spice
that
it
people lose is friendship. I see
I
it all the
agree.
time.
Yes.
So many people go into relationships, they're not friends. They haven't established that friendship long enough to really know how to work with one another once we are living together or once we are married.
I have a question for you, RJ.
Mhm.
So when we were talking about challenges in our relationship, I know how I work through it, but what is your take on if you go through a challenging period in your relationship?
Yes.
I do not believe that you should take out sex. I feel like even if
Absolutely
you don't,
not.
even if you don't feel like, I'm not saying if you were doing it every day before, I'm not saying you're about to keep doing it every day necessarily, but you don't want those weeks and those months to go by. I mean, I know people who are married, I don't know necessarily about relationships, like dating exclusively, but I know people who are married who have gone months without being intimate, and it's usually during a trying period. But how do you work through that, RJ, when you're when you're going through a challenging period? You don't necessarily feel romantic and things like that or whatever.
Oh, because I'm a bit different.
Okay.
No matter what the challenge that we're going through, the romance is never dead. The romance is completely separate from the relationship. In terms of if we're disagreeing with something, or if we had, let's say, an argument about something that has nothing to do with the romance, but I can understand how it can, especially when you're not matched up with the right person. If you're not with the right person, easy. Now, for me, like I said, I like to keep it new. Another thing, let me just say this. Let me loosen up my shoulders, okay? We have to learn how to flirt.
I got something I want to add.
We have to learn how to flirt with each other. We don't flirt with our partners no more. If you see your man walking in the kitchen or walking in the grocery store,
Smack on that booty.
Okay, slap it.
Smack
tell
that
him,
ass.
say,
Sorry,
you are sexy. Because we want all these compliments. We get fixed up. Oh, he didn't compliment. We want these compliments. We go out our way to look so beautiful. But what about him?
What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say just that, because I was dating somebody after that situation, and we had that friendship. So it didn't matter if I got upset with him.
There we go.
We would actually be upset, and then it would spice it up even more.
Yeah. or the argument is over.
Yeah, it's not like it's not that anger where
you can't stay mad.
Where you can't even talk to the person. It's like, okay, that's done. Next, or let's go into the room right now, because that just turned me on.
Right.
When you take long breaks, Syndy B, weeks, months. When you start taking breaks like that, you are, I think it's a mistake, because you are putting
that distance.
Oh, wow. You're putting that distance. And so when you need your friend again, and men are visual creatures. They are sexual beings. Okay. And this is why they want it all the time.
Well,
okay.
I'll say this. I do want to make sure that we don't put all the pressure on the women.
Right.
I do remember a conversation with my husband once. He wanted to get even more than we were already doing. And I said, okay. I said, but however long we're married at the time, I haven't seen a flower. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen that. So I don't feel bad. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't tell him no, don't, but also I wanted him to know, like, listen, I want you to do for me too, because I make sure I look good for him, cook for him, clean for him, take care of the kids. I'm out here and handling my business, all of the above. And I'm out here looking like a whole snack and meal and everything. Okay. And I needed him to make me feel like how other people out in these streets would make me feel, so I wanted to make sure.
Yes.
What were you going to say?
Oh, I agree with how you feel. There used to be a time where I cared about Valentine's Day.
Oh.
And I cared about Valentine's Day just like most women. And it's been too many years I even forgot about Valentine's Day.
Mhm.
But so many women, if we don't get, and I'm not talking about you, Cindy B, I'm just thinking about this. So many women, you know, we want those gifts. And not just, you know, on, you know, every now and then, especially around that holiday, we want these things. And for me, I have learned, for me personally, because if I didn't learn, I would still be angry about them flowers, y'all. But I'd be angry. I didn't get those flowers.
Well,
I didn't get
listen,
those chocolates. I didn't get
I
that
have-
gift.
I
And
have
so I'm sorry. And so for me, you know, when I see my man go into that kitchen and start juicing up raw green leafy vegetables, okay, that spinach, that kale, that chard, those apples, beets. Are you kidding me? And I know that he is looking out for my health and my life. Whew, that's so sexy. And I just wanted to say that.
I was just going to say, I have a guy on here who is saying he's been with someone for 4 to 5 years, and it's been a struggle in his household, even to just separate romance from, what he said, romance from the relationship. Like, it's hard for him to do that. And he's okay with 2-3 times a year.
Oh.
You know, this conversation goes.
To be continued, right? To be continued.
If y'all didn't hear that,
You know, it sounds like he, you know, he's looking for answers.
I got something to say about
if
that.
He's in a relationship that
I don't
long,
know
he
about
needs an
I don't know no man who's okay with 2 to 3 times a year, let alone 2 to 3 times a month. We got to talk about this when I get back. Okay, you're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Cindy B on Power 108.9. We'll be right back.
2 to 3 times a year with her.
Yes. Well, is this with her or is it just with her? Like, that's the question now, Terry.
You may not tell the truth. You ain't got to tell the truth on social
He
media.
said he's
Okay,
okay.
I got to give a shout out.
He said this man is okay with that.
That's pretty interesting. They've been together for 4 or 5 years. I wonder if the relationship is long distance.
No, he's married.
Oh, they're married.
Yeah, and he has a teenage child with a boatload of activities to attend
I
to
wonder
them.
if he was. I wonder if he was asexual before the marriage.
Let's see, he will answer.
Yeah.
What's up, Javi?
Was he, you know,
At least, what up?
Is he saying that they were more sexual before the marriage and now it changed, or was he always that way?
Hey, boo. Oh, I'm sorry. They've been married 19 years.
So they've been married
And he's never cheated.
never cheated, married 19 years.
He said he never cheated 19 and 2 to 3 times a year.
So I'm sorry, he said 2 to 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And you know, it could be. Remember,
I don't know. How old are you, Terry? He's a runner.
He's in his 40s, late 40s. He's gonna tell us.
I'm waiting on his answer. He's here, all y'all.
Okay, his name is Terry.
Yes.
Okay, so Terry, there are a lot of things going on because Terry could.
Don't get your feelings hurt. We're just asking questions. He's 52.
Okay, so being that he is 52, he could be experiencing some.
I'm sorry, but my guy was 50. And
I'm not. No, we're not. Right. Because I have someone who's in that age group, and because he's extremely healthy, we don't have those issues either.
Well, I said I had someone, so don't get it, don't. And this is what this conversation is about. I'm a reveal shit. He is secure in his person and is very healthy. Yes, he is. He said that he is.
But he said it was
You ready to shout it?
happy. I'm ready. I got questions.
She is so ready. She got questions.
Okay, mommy. Love
Are you sure you're ready, Cindy?
I'm ready. Had to give my mama a shout out.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah. Right, Stephanie. Hey.
And I'm back.
Listen to some TLC. Welcome back. to the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9.
Oh,
Hey.
It's your girl Jahira Arias,
That's right.
co-hosting. What?
Hey. We're listening to TLC if you can't hear me on my Facebook Live. Okay, listen, we got questions. We have, let me use some proper grammar. Okay, we have someone that's watching. Jahira, can you tell us a little bit more of what he kind of was sharing on the break?
He just said she isn't, I guess she's not okay with it,
Okay.
with the fact that it's just 2-3 times a year,
Mhm.
and she wants more. And if she
ask if
cheated,
she younger.
well, he could hear you. Is she younger? And if she cheated, he is probably going to be okay with that.
I was
not
going to say
upset.
he's going to be okay with it.
Got it.
That's that understanding.
I-
That's that friendship.
You know what? You know
Hot
what?
mess. You don't even know what she
Michael,
look
you're a
like.
mess. Okay, so I feel
How
like
old
there's
is she?
something. I feel like there's something more that he may not be open to sharing. It could be something health wise. It could be. I feel like there's more. And and it's different for everyone. I can't say in general, but I do not know of a man that will consistently. Maybe he had a challenging part in his life, or would be happy with only sex 2 to 3 times a year. So I feel like there might be some things that, and that's totally okay. Maybe possibly health wise or something like
have
that.
Totally
questions.
healthy.
I
He
got
says he
questions.
runs
RJ
5
got a
miles.
question.
She is 4 years younger.
Okay,
no,
that's
they've been married
good.
19 years, so she's.
Oh, that's right,
she's
19
yeah,
years.
She's okay. So I got a couple questions. One, and I'm not assuming. I'm just asking.
Yes.
One, I want to know. Is he bisexual? 2, I want to know.
That was in my brain.
And I'm not saying just because he doesn't want sex, 'cause he could be asexual.
Yes.
He could be. It sounds like he's very okay with not having sex,
With
because
her.
if he was a strong sexual natured man, his wife would not be upset right now. She wants more. He'd be giving her more. He'd be giving her so much she had to say stop. Another thing I would like to know is, were they really sexual in the beginning? Prior to marriage, when they got married, and did it just die off?
Let's let him answer that. And
Yes.
when you mentioned bisexual, I that popped in my head, and that's okay. And I'm asking, please don't get offended.
Absolutely.
But I do want to know, were they in the beginning of their relationship or marriage, were they more active when he gets a chance to respond to that? And don't nothing's personal, sir. But
he is not weird, but not. He is weird, but not gay,
okay.
nor bisexual.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so
And-
we're going.
and were
What
they
is his name?
sexual
Because I want to
before?
give him a shout out.
Terry.
I want to give Terry. I want to give him a shout out. Thank you, Terry, for participating. We don't want to drive too much into your business, but I want to kind of
Yes, we do.
stay on. I want to stay on dating with a purpose
Okay.
and breakups.
Mhm.
Okay, so we've all been in relationships and broken up. Okay, but have you ever, Jahira?
There we go.
Jahira, have you ever remained like really good friends with an ex that was able to remain your friend when you were in another relationship?
Yes,
Okay, explain.
I am actually friends with the majority of the guys that I've dated, except for probably 2, and then I don't really talk to one because he's married. But yes, we are all cool.
That's wonderful.
Okay, so but you guys were cool when you dated someone else,
Yes,
and they were cool, and your guy was cool with them.
my guy was never cool with anybody,
Ah.
any guy.
So how can you really be friends?
Well, we
If-
were friends.
So you talked to them on the side.
We were no. Well, what do you mean? We weren't like dating while I was in a relationship.
I mean, so okay. So in my eyes, if they're not our friends, how can you nurture into that relationship, into that friendship?
Well, the same way that he nurtured into his friendships that I didn't agree with.
Oh, okay. Someone turned flush red up in here. That sounded like a whole story background. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He had a lot of female friends.
Mhm.
And I mean, some would just pop up that I didn't even know they existed. And I would be like, okay, well, where did this person come from? And let's get to know them. Like, let me meet them.
And I want to get RJ's take in a second, but did you meet these friends later down the line, or did you meet it as you were getting to know them before you became exclusive?
Not all. Yeah, no.
Which
down the
one?
line.
Yeah, see that right there is a
Down the line.
suspect.
And was it because
I want
he
to.
had friend girls? You think that's what led you to say, well, hey, I'll have friend guys as well?
No.
Okay.
No, because I've always had more male friends than
Yes.
females.
Yes.
And I mean that, but he knew that. Like that guys know that as soon as they meet me.
Yeah.
Like the majority of the people I talk to are guys.
Kind of guys,
Okay.
girl. Yeah.
I've got
Thank you.
girlfriends,
Right.
and then I have no problem with introducing, so it's not a problem for me. It's like,
Okay, so I want to get your take, RJ, on being in a relationship and
Mhm.
having friends of the opposite sex. So basically, if your significant other has female friends and vice versa. that laugh.
Yes.
I know what that laugh say. I know what that laugh say.
I tell you, when people know your laugh and what it means, they know you. Okay, so you and I sort of agree. Your friends are my friends.
Thank you.
And my friends are his friends. And that is, that's how I roll. That's how I roll. We don't have any new friends, that come into the circle. And if we do it, it may be on my end.
Right.
Right. And so, but, they obviously have to be, accepting of both of us. We come as a team.
let me explain. Listen, Linda.
are you
listen,
going to
Linda.
tell us your take
Yes.
on this?
Okay.
Cool.
So I do. I am a guy's girl. Okay. I do have my girlfriends, but I just can. I feel like I be more myself around guys more than I can girls. Of course, I have my key girls that I can just let loose with. RJ. So anyway, So I do believe in that. And I don't believe if you have a real friend that you should just X them out. But that person, okay, so me as a female, the guy has to vibe with my husband. And if it don't vibe, but I feel like the only reason it wouldn't vibe is because it's some kind of hidden, I want to be with you if you weren't with somebody kind of thing,
Right.
And the same thing on his side, if he has a female. My really, really great friend who's got my minions right now was my husband's friend first, but she made the cut and she knew exactly how to operate. And she had to get in with me, and she knows I say this, she had to get in with me, and to where sometimes my husband be like, well, what y'all talk about today, And so we built our relationship. And then there were some people before that he would be like, my friend. I'd be like that in my head. I'm like, that ain't your friend. It'll just be a matter of time before they disappear. Because if you don't know me and you don't know my kids, and I haven't invited you to my house multiple times, he ain't your friend and neither am I. But you are a close associate and we can see you when we out and about, all of that. But it has to be our friend. If not, it can really be a conflict.
And ladies, I want to say, ladies and men, ladies, make sure your best male friend is your man. Make sure your best male friend is your man. And if you are married or, in a coupled relationship, make sure if you're going to have a male friend, make sure that male friend is coupled or married as well.
Yes. But I want to answer X. One of our good friends is an ex of mine, but I was young. I was like 19, or something like that. Not that, and him and my husband talk more than I hardly talk to him. He and my husband talk more, and we've had multiple chances to be back together over the years, and that never ever happened. Just one of them young flings, and you realize that you were better off as like really, really great friends, But
I wanted to add to that, because sometimes they'll come into your life, and to them, to me, I've never known a man to have female best friends. But my ex had female best friend. And initially, it was cool. It was like, okay, well, let me get to know her, like this, that, and the third. And it was cool at first. But then I felt like along the lines, signals got crossed, something got missed. I don't know.
Felt excluded.
It did make me think that something was going on for a sec. I know we got to go. But I'll continue it later, maybe.
Yes. Okay. So speaking of relationships, relationships can get a little cray sometimes. So when we come back, we are going to read a little story, and we're going to decide, is it 7:30 crazy night? If you don't know what 7:30 crazy is, I need you to Google that on this break. You're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. We'll be right back. Hey, Jordan. Hey, Kia. Hey, Colette.
This is your new
Got it.
internet radio, Power 108.9.
You want to answer that, don't you? I bet it's just killing you seeing the soft glow just inches away. Someone wants to tell you something or ask you something. Oh, come on. Answer it already.
That is hilarious.
Just so we're clear, that wasn't my fault. Next time, ignore your inner voice. Don't
That is
text and drive.
hilarious.
Stay up on what's happening here at Power. We've got new shows,
I see
new
you got
guests,
it.
and
You
new
on.
events that help us connect with the community. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Power 108.9. You can also go to power1089.com to get all of the updated
Mama
news
D.
and happenings here at
Give
Power.
that shout
Next
out
Thanks
to
for
Miss
listening.
Dorothy Alexander.
Hey, Rob.
Looking for you all to come on the show for your new health women's product.
Y'all want to see live in the studio and hear what we're doing on our studio? Go to Power 108.9. But I love y'all. Y'all here.
Hey, Cindy B, you ready? Shout it.
I'm ready. Hey, Angie. Thank you, Rod.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place.
Welcome back to the Unbroken Experience with Cindy B on Power 108.9. Listen to some CeeLo right now.
And when you're out there,
Crazy.
without care, yeah, I was out of
He said he
touch.
was out of touch. And some of y'all out of touch out here. Okay? So, co-host Jahada Adia,
Yes, ma'am.
what kind of story do you have for us today? I want y'all to listen carefully so we can decide, is this 7:30 crazy or just normal? Okay, go
Okay.
for it.
Well, on today's 7:30 crazy with your girl Jahira Arias, I've got college students are making the city of Miami Beach reconsider spring break as they called an emergency spring break meeting 2 days ago, stating they need to make it less fun. Like, how you do that?
Excuse me?
And the reasons they're doing this is after spring breakers had a massive brawl in the streets and in the beaches of South Beach. One woman was seen getting pounded and kicked in the head while lying in the middle of the street. Spring break ends April 2nd, so we'll see what happens next.
Ooh. Okay, so
Is
this
that
is in
7:30
Miami?
crazy or not?
It's Miami?
This is in Miami, South Beach, Miami.
Okay. I'll lead it off and then I'm going to bounce it to you, RJ.
Okay.
All right. So, okay, being in Atlanta, you know, the home of Freaknik, I don't think it's 7:30 crazy. I just think individuals are crazy, you know. I think there's some people in there that might be crazy, might be a little bit too drunk. Okay, so I don't really know how they can handle that and manage that a little bit better. But this is Miami. You can't shut spring break down. I
You have
personally
to
don't think it's
shut the
7:30
bridges
crazy.
down.
Okay, you being from Florida.
Well, yeah, you just have to shut those bridges down and keep everyone from coming over to Miami Beach, and they're not going to do that. So
I don't know nothing about the bridges. What's the bridges?
the bridge from Miami to Miami Beach, you need, you're right. You have those
Yep.
bridges you have to cross.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Okay.
So,
What do you think, John?
Well, you know, I used to live in Miami.
7:30.
I used to live on South Beach, and they've shut down Memorial Weekend. So they can definitely shut down anything else.
But do you
if
think they
choose
should?
to. Do I think they should? I think they may need some more control, because the issue with Miami is You can walk around the streets with drinks in your hand. You can do whatever you want.
That's why we come there.
They have been shutting down the whole that aspect of it, but I don't know. Like, kids are gonna be kids. These are college students.
Yes.
And what was it we used to hear all the time back in the days? It was what's that video?
Freaknik.
No, not Freaknik. It was the video that they used to do tours and everything. It was for Spring Breakers. Girls Gone Wild.
Oh yeah, Girls Gone Wild. That's
this is just another Girls Gone Wild. That's all it is. And it's all girls, which is, I don't know what he doing over here, stripping and stuff. We good.
I got a 7:30. Another. That's a 7:30 cray cray. I got another 7:30 cray cray. But this is out for my sports fans out there. Okay.
Okay.
Now we're gonna talk about Mr. Tom Brady with those New England Patriots.
Come on with it.
So Tom Brady and his beautiful supermodel wife Giselle, they decided this past week that they were going to go ahead and and sell his autographs. Okay. Now those autographs are ranging anywhere from $1,050 on up to about $2,200. All right. Now on those autographs, we're talking about helmets. We're talking about whether it's a cap, whether it's see, I brought mine too. I got some memorabilia. So for something like this, I have to pay him $1,050 just to sign this.
Some people want it.
I thought that was a little 730 cray cray. However, for our sports collectors out there, it's going to be worth a whole lot of money in the future.
Okay, so for me, it's 730 cray cray. I'm not sport. I'm not. I'll have to watch sports because of my husband and my kids. And everybody know I love me some Mariah Carey. I still wouldn't pay $1,000 for her autograph. Now I might spend $1,000, spend a day with her, but I'm not spending $1,000 for her autograph. What do you think?
Well, all I have to say is, if I were Tom Brady and I can sell my own stuff and make that money my own self, because everybody else making money off it.
And he has millions of
Why
fans,
not me?
and at that amount of money, they can make millions every day.
Why not me make money off my daggone self? What's wrong with that?
Right. I guess so. Okay, so speaking of speaking,
sign this for $1,050.
Oh, me?
No, I'm going to sign this, but you know,
we're gonna sell it on eBay.
$50 now.
Right, he don't need the money. He don't need the money. We're going on
need
eBay.
the money,
Okay.
but everybody else getting the money from it.
Okay. All right. So listen, when we come back, I want to know, did you all think that was 730 crazy or not? Hey, Ben. Hey, Kathleen. All right. When we come back, I want to kind of continue on those college students. I got a question about the college students. When we come back, you listen to the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. We'll be right back.
Fuck around with me, it'd be a tragedy. I want green on the spirit.
Hey, what's up, Mia? What's up, Carl? Omo, Sora, Chantrice. What's up, fam?
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Another topic. Love it. Perfect. Not bad. Okay. All right.
That food look real good.
It
look real yummy. It's not. Well, it look real yummy. Where's my fork? You said you were bringing four folk.
Like to share. You was like that when you was a little kid.
We missing forks, buddy.
Put your finger in the food.
Where is that from?
Oh,
anyway?
wow.
Forget Chipotle. My friend
You
goes
don't
to
like
Chipotle
Chipotle?
every freaking day.
Every
I'm like,
day?
Eat something else for your life. I'm good. I was just kidding. I don't want your food. But you're just going to do that anyway. You ain't really getting it. Sorry.
That we should let our children make more decisions. So I'm piggyback off of this college stuff like that. I saw an episode of Blackish where he went to college and he came back talking about he want to take a gap. And he ain't got no job or nothing. So we gonna let our kids make decisions, or are we responsible for them to get them make decisions for them for a period?
Yes, we covered some of this 2 weeks ago too. Remember? Yes.
Love you too, Sue.
Just a
they owe me a college degree though.
Uh.
They owe me a college degree.
Yeah, it took me a long time to be convinced otherwise too.
Yeah, but I will they don't they owe it to me. They owe it. Unless my son going to the league, he owes me a college degree. Because if it was like me, if it was like me where I didn't realize later when I realized what I wanted to do and I needed my degree and I had to go and start all the way back over, wasted doggone time. And I could have had that doggone degree back a long time ago, been done with my master's. Now I'm working on my master's right now. So, but if my daughter, if she wants to start a business or whatever the case may be, I will help them do it and have them making money while they're earning that degree. They're young. Yes. No. Go to school. I got you.
I want to be on your wall.
That's good.
Wait, who on your wall?
What changes I missed?
His wall. I'm trying to see who's on his wall.
That's random guests.
Mm-hmm. They good. They cool. You don't have to swap them. They good.
Not. Oh, you bet.
Oh. I'm
We
gonna
really-
tear it down and break it. You gonna call the police? I am the police. You don't know who I am.
Okay.
Nope.
Another one. Yeah. Stay down with my day one niggas and we in the club screaming no new friends, no new friends, no new friends, no new.
Welcome back
Still here with my
to the
day one
Unbroken
niggas, so you hear me
Experience
say,
with
no
Syndy
new
B
friends, no new
on
friends,
Power
no new friends,
108.9.
no.
You know, that's a good topic. No new friends
Still
by
ride
Drake.
with my day one niggas, I don't really
Oh.
need no new friends.
New friends
no
is
new
hard. I'm gonna
friends,
write that
no
down. We
new
gotta talk
friends,
about that
no
another
new.
day. New friends
Stay
is
down
hard.
with one, so
Yeah,
Hard
man.
to keep that. Okay, so
I'm good with the ones I got.
Oh, so I got so when we got off our 7:30 cray, I think I don't know if the consensus was it was 7:30 crazy or not. I think it was like kind of borderline. What you think?
For me?
Yeah. Did you think any of those were 7:30 crazy?
I feel like mine was crazy because I should.
I mean, I don't want people getting hurt and stuff, but I feel like that, you know, they need some. I feel like they need some more, like you said, security or whatever the case may be.
She
But
was
you can't
stomping
shut
on the
it
girl's
down.
head on the street.
No, that's crazy. That's why I said she cray. She's crazy.
They
But
all
okay, so we were
crazy.
talking about spring
You
break.
crazy.
We were talking about
Yes.
spring break and, you know, a lot of college students. So I was watching this episode of Blackish.
Here we go. Tell
Okay.
us.
All right. So, I was in my feelings when I was watching that. But I'm not even going
Cindy's in her feelings because man,
it'd be all off the opposite of yours, okay? So I forget the son's name, the older son's name, but he went to college to Howard, I believe it was. And then all of a sudden, he done been there all of 2 weeks, and he decides to come home and tell his parents that he's taking a gap year and that he doesn't want to go back to college. So before I put any of my 2 cents in there, Jahira,
yes.
do you believe that? Okay, 2 questions. Do you believe in a gap year, and what does that mean? Like, what you about to do in this gap year? And then number 2, do you feel like, as you know, when you become a mom, that you should guide your kids up until a certain age to make sure they're making the right decisions for their future?
So I'll start with the second one first, because I was kind of a stepmom for a short period of time, and she happened to be graduating from high school and going into college. Yes, I agree with guiding your kids as much as best as you can. However, there is a point where you have to learn to allow them to be who they are meant to be.
Okay.
I think, because I saw how much effort, how much money and was put in towards this, and some kids, not saying she did, some kids will take it for granted. Some kids will, some kids just mindfully, they're just not there. They're still kids. They're still kids. So they don't really necessarily know that they should be informing you of financial aid paperwork needing to be done and all this, that, and the third. Next thing you know, you're spending like 20 grand when you could have been spending nothing or 5,000, you know? So at some point you have to realize that you have to let them be who they are supposed to be. I think age does play a part in it as well. But you have to know your child too.
I agree.
You can't let them just
I
go.
agree.
I agree. RJ, what do you feel?
I agree. I got some things to say, and I want to piggyback off something you said, because I do have children. I have, children who, gone to school and college and all that. The gap year. The gap, because I'm one of those parents, and there's no gap year. After high school, if you're going to college, go straight into college. I did know a young man, my son's best friend. He did take a gap year. He was an honor student from elementary. He took that gap year, went back to Africa in his hometown for a year, came back on his $500,000 scholarship to Emory, and he's an honor student. It didn't faze him one way or another. However, with one of my sons, like you said, you have to, with the SAT, allow them to, do certain things or no. I was right there. Making sure you're doing the SAT, making sure I was there every step of the way. And sometimes it is good to just step off, let them do it on their own. We're so excited for them to go to college, let these young people earn their way, not necessarily earn their way. They've already earned their way in college once they get accepted, but earn their way into getting in there, the dorms. Oh, I fixed up the dorm and everything. And yes, afterwards I realized, why did you do that? Because he really, I'm not sure he appreciated it as much. Yes.
Well, let me say this. I don't think the appreciation is there at that point in time, period. So they're not going to appreciate whether you put the doggone 57-inch, 60-inch in the dorm room. That's all they want to. They just want to show it off, but they don't even have the mental capacity, I think, at that point in time to understand the sacrifice and the effort and the love that was put in, to that. But in my opinion, I feel like as a parent, my kids are 7 and 8 years old. So I'm only 8 years in the game. And I put in some blood, sweat, and tears with these minions. Okay.
And I know how you feel.
I mean, when I tell you, and my husband will say, I mean, I put in overtime energy. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have no excuse. You have no excuse, but you don't have no say in terms of. Hold on. You don't have any say in terms of what you're going to do if it's not productive. Okay, so I'm okay if my son or my daughter came and said, I really don't want to go to college, mommy. I'd say, okay, what is we gonna do then? What you got set up? And you best to be telling me that about 9th or 10th grade so I can set a LLC up for you and help you build it during that point in time. But you can't come home and sit in my house and try to look for a job for 6 months, okay? And you're not making no money and you get to come and go. A girl's getting heated, okay? You don't get to do that, okay? Just the thought of it. Now, if this is what you want to do, I'm all about planning and preparation. If this is what you want to do, you're going to finish out that first semester while you're planning on what the heck it is that you're trying to do while you at home in my house. Okay. Now, if you're like me, who was at Spelman at 17 years old, and I was financially on my own, financially, period, with school, financially on any bills I had, any incidentals I needed. So when I decided to leave school, I signed my own paperwork and I did not go back home. Right. And even though it was very tough for me to survive out here in Atlanta, I remember my dad calling me when he realized how I was struggling out here. He heard through the grapevine. I don't know who he heard from, but he called me. He said, baby girl, I'm coming. Me and your uncle coming down there to get you. Pack your stuff. We're going to have a van and you're going to come back home. I'm going to get you a job at the school system and you're coming home. And I said, and I was only, I think, 19 at that time. And I said, Daddy, you know that I love you and I've never disrespected you. But if you come down here, I'm either not going to be home or I'm not going to answer the door. But I had a plan. And also, I didn't know exactly where that plan was going to lead and when it was going to come to fruition. But I was okay with the consequences, and I wasn't going to blame anybody for my hardship. Right. So if my kids are okay with that, then go be it and go do it. I'm all for a hustler. Okay, but I feel like you also got to come up in a household where you had to hustle. I feel like hustle is in you because maybe you had to survive at some point in time in some kind of situation. And I don't know if necessarily if our kids have that kind of hustle, when they just had so much handed, to them. So that's my thought on that. They might right now, unless my kids show me something different as the years go on, they owe me a degree, and we can work on something simultaneously while they're earning their degree. So when they leave, they making some paper. That's my thoughts, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, you're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9, and we'll be right back.
Oh, this one. Well, the only thing I wanted to add to it too. I wanted to add to that like for me, I was in college. Yeah, 750. Yeah.
I know what you mean. That's now.
No, I was just gonna say the same. Like I was like, I had graduated. I mean, I didn't graduate. I was in school, and my family moved to Florida, so I was kind of like left here to fend for self and figure things out. So I'm saying like for me, I had to learn how to survive and live on my own, and I was only 18. I didn't. No, I didn't. Nope, I didn't. And that's what I mean, like with the kids, right? They don't have the hustle in them, but it's up to us to show them. That's why one of the reasons for me, right?
They can have the hustle with business if you teach them that. But I feel like the hustle, like the survival hustle, comes with your upbringing.
Yes,
You better say it.
And they'll be a bum.
Yeah. They won't be a bum.
But I'm on both sides because I don't. You do gotta let them figure it out. But it's hard. It's hard. Right. No.
All you can do is give them the platform. Like
everybody come with a different blueprint. Every child comes with a different blueprint in terms of how they're.
So they get to stay at home and sit at home?
No.
That's not what he's saying. No.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying you gotta go to college or you gotta do this. You gotta figure it out.
Right. Well, but we're saying the same thing. I'm saying you can't come home and chill.
No,
that's what I'm saying. But there are a lot of families who do that.
At the same time, though, you ain't gonna let your baby fail.
Oh, hell no.
You ain't gonna let you gonna say, oh, you can't come home. You can't come home.
Right.
But you ain't gonna let them be out on the street till you're gonna let them come home. So
they can come home for a little bit. They can come home for a little bit.
for how long?
Hey, Sissy. Hey, Greg. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Keenan.
I got a song for you.
Hi, ladies.
I got a song for you coming on right now. You ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
And stop disrupting the show.
Disrupting the show. You're bad. I love him though. That's right. That's right. Welcome back to the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. Now we had, I think I got a little heated before I left, okay? My boy Michael in here playing. Yes, that is my theme song. Let me tell you something before we get into what's coming up at the next hour. My kids know they got a G for a mom. I don't play no games, but I love them though. I love you, Syndy and Sensitive. Okay, so we got someone in the building that's coming up at the next hour. So we're going to talk to her in a minute, see what she's got coming up. But so we're talking about the episode of Blackish, about the taking the gap year. I want to know a little bit more, Jahara. You were talking about when we were talking about should you let your children make more of their life-changing decisions when they're a certain age. You were mentioning something of when about you know, and your growing up when your parents left, I believe.
Yeah, I was like 18 years old and I was in college and I was working and I had to start paying rent. And it became the most hardest thing for me in the world. However, I wouldn't change a thing though, because it really taught me how to survive. It taught me how to live. It taught me how to make it on my own.
Well, I'll say this, you know, when I said my kids owe me a degree or they, you know, I need them to do this and that. It is, my kids cannot, I don't work, I'm getting worked up again. Okay.
Oh, she can't even say the words.
Worked up again. I don't work all my life.
8 years.
You know,
8 years.
But that's just 8 years. But, no,
tears.
but now I'm talking about when they get to that 12th grade year and they're graduating, we've got scholarships and things like that, or, you know, or we just got accepted. And let's say we don't have scholarship, we got accepted and you don't have another plan and you don't have anything working. You can't come home to my house and just chill, you know.
Oh no.
And so that I want to make sure I make that clarification. If you don't have a plan, you either need to be working or you need to be in school, and be in school and I take care of you, you know. But if my kids were like, I got this, mommy, like I got this, I'll be like, okay, and I'm gonna let them do it, you know. I'm gonna let them do it. But what I was saying, you know, in the break was, I don't know if our generation, not our kids' generation, excuse me, has the hustle like we have. We grew up at a different time where we were more independent, and we were like, we had to kind of raise ourselves sometimes, you know. We were kind of on our own, and I feel like the hustle, that kind of inside hustle, comes from your upbringing. I think our kids these days can learn the hustle of business and survive and things like that. But I don't.
That's why for me, I've always, like, I hate to say it, but I always said that I feel like I need to raise my kid in New York. I was raised in Brooklyn as a kid, and I feel like the kids in Georgia, they wouldn't take transit. Like, it's something as simple as a train.
Oh my God.
They wouldn't even take it. Like, they're too scared. It's not going to happen.
And it's crazy.
And
it's better than when I moved here in 99. We was all kind of killings and stuff. I was right on that MARTA. Going right to work.
The only reason why I've always thought of the day I have a kid, maybe I should move to New York, just because I want them to have that experience. It's because, like you said, it is about the upbringing. And so what am I going to do to help them or prepare them for this world? Because and I know no matter what I do, I'm not going to be 100%. They're not going to be totally ready, but I can do my part. And that's just something that I just have always, I don't know if it's going to happen.
RJ, with 2 kids that are raised, how do you feel about the go hard with schoolwork and getting them ready for college? Like, what are your thoughts on letting them make certain decisions?
Oh, and we just covered that before the break. Again, you know, I made certain decisions for my children when they were going off to college, and I wish I did not. You know, I have 2 sons. One son is a lot more independent. He doesn't want my help, and the other son, he doesn't want my help, but he'll take the help. He won't reject the help. And absolutely, you have to allow these young people to be themselves, to explore life on their own. But you definitely have to still be guiding, counseling, and, you know, I won't say manage, you know, but you definitely should be counseling them past 18 years old. You know, like you said, Jahara, you've been on your own since what age?
I was 18.
I was 17. Okay. Own place, everything was on me. The light bill, if I slept on the floor, that's why I slept.
Right.
And there was never a penny or a cent. There was never a cent or a dime coming from nowhere. And it never came. And in truth, like Syndy B said, that makes us more tougher and stronger. And we see a lot of times when we raise our children, you know, a lot of times they are that way, and sometimes they're just not. But let them figure it out. I agree with Michael. Let's let them figure it out.
I agree. So we're going to talk about this more, you know, in the future, because, you know, our children are, I believe the children are the future, y'all. Okay, but this show is coming to an end real fast as it goes so fast. And we got my girl, Ann Boo, coming up at the 8 o'clock hour. Ann Boo, what you got for us?
Boo's Views is in the building.
Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey.
Yeah, so coming up, you know what they say, when you're 40 and 50, your life is over if you're not married with kids.
Oh, jeez. Do I need to stay?
Do I need to be? Oh, do we need to stay for the show?
I have my girl here that I've known for about 15 years, and she's in her 50s, and we are going to discuss this. What do you call it? Stereotype.
Okay.
Wow. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Get them all the way together, because 40s and 50s is the prime of your life. I don't care if you're married.
Let's give a shout out to Miss Lisa Anderson.
I don't care if you're
getting
married or what.
Okay.
Okay, so listen, we are wrapping this show up. I want you all to follow me on @TheCyndyB. If you're watching me right now, it's SYNDY. Okay, The Syndy B, and @The Unbroken Experience. Click the link in my bio so you can find out everything that's going on. Ja, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on IG @IAMJAHARIAS. That's I am Ja Arias.
Yes, RJ.
Y'all can't find me. Don't.
She got social media.
On Facebook. Look me on Facebook.
On the Facebook
under RJ Powell.
That's
Listen,
right.
guys, and on the next show we're gonna start bringing in a health segment for y'all.
Yes,
All right.
we will. But you are listening to The Unbroken Experience. Okay. And so I got to leave you with the tip. I saw a video today of a dad in this whole co-parenting situation, okay? So I'll talk about that. Co-parenting is going to come on another day because that's a long topic. But my tip of the week, if you're in a co-parenting situation, you got baby mama, baby daddy drama, get that black and white. I know the court can be a scary thing, but that black and white is the basis when you cannot agree until you can agree. All right? That is my tip of the week. Go to court, get your black and white, and follow that. Oh,
adios.
Until we meet again.
All right. You listen to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9 next week, Thursday at 7 o'clock. Tune in. We love y'all. Bye.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We love you. I love you. Hey, Tay, Charles, Michael, Franklin, Jerome, Ish. What up? It's that the battery.